Hello everybody and welcome back to another episode of Sustainable Talks with Maria J. As you can probably hear, I've kind of lost my voice, so we'll see how today's video goes. Excuse me. So the federal election happened and the results were quite devastating. I've been honestly quite deflated since the results have come out, and ScoMo still is our Prime Minister, so I don't know, this past 2 weeks I've just been like moping around, I guess. I don't know really how to feel or what videos to make next, so yeah. I saw this interesting Facebook post where people donkey voted or had ineligible votes, and the difference of votes was actually enough to change the outcome of the election. So to those that donkey voted, screw you guys. You guys think that you guys don't have a voice or your voice isn't enough to make an impact, but you're not the only one thinking that. There's over 1,000 of you guys thinking the same shit, and or collectively your voices have determined the outcome of Australia's future. So thank you, I suppose, and fuck you guys at the same time. So today's episode, we're going to talk about something that I guess every Australian household does quite often, and that's recycling. I recently found a 1994 copy of National Geographic about recycling, so I was hoping the read might inspire me a bit for this video. And well, reading the article made me realize that not much has changed in the past 25 years when it comes to recycling. I guess we're still dealing with the same shit, and recycling is a band-aid solution. It doesn't address the solution at the core of the problem. It's a token act that makes everyone feel better. So, you know, every time we buy stuff, we recycle it, and, you know, it makes us think, okay, because we're recycling, we're actually doing something good for the environment. We're not throwing our waste to landfill, which is honestly somewhat true, but at the same time, not really. It's not really making the world a better place. It's just putting a band-aid on the problem, and that problem is our consumption. At the end of the day, it's our consumption that's screwing up the world and how we're consuming, I suppose. So even though you might be putting items and your rubbish back into recycling, it's not addressing the core problem, which is how you consume your shit. Recycling is a solution that makes us forget the real issue of consumerism and product design, and I guess also end-of-life processes, because, you know, we'll be recycling, say, plastics or paper, but if we're not consuming recycled goods at the same time, or products that are made from recycled goods, then the lack of market demand for those products kind of means there's no point in recycling things, right? Because when you recycle things, you're making new things with that item, and there needs to be a demand or a desire for that new thing. And if there isn't, then there's no point in recycling products and making new things, because that's how our economy works, that's how capitalism works. So it's a band-aid solution, and, you know, majority of the things that we do consume can't be recycled, or they can't be recycled because there's gaps in our recycling industry that doesn't allow it to be recycled. So if you think about your common day products like your phone, that can't be recycled in your general kerbside bin. Items like toothpaste, they can't be recycled in your kerbside bin, as well as toothbrushes. So, you know, when we talk about curbside recycling, generally it's like, you know, your typical plastic things that have the triangles on them. But if you look closely at your toothpaste or your toothbrush, they don't have those triangle things on them. So actually, you know, the guys at the recycling plants are like, where do we chuck this in? Because we don't know what kind of plastic it's been made out of. So it makes it really hard to recycle some products. Same with your phones, because your phones have a whole bunch of random crap: glass, metal, minerals, plastics, rubber, all that crap. Like, they can't be recycled at your typical recycling plant. So do you know how to recycle this crap? Maybe some of you guys do, but I'm here to provide some insight into recycling, I guess. So Curbside recycling is only available for some products like your general papers, cardboards, not necessarily your waxy paper or any paper that might be like mixed stuff in there, like laminated paper. No, that's not gonna go. As I mentioned, toothpaste, foundation packaging or makeup packaging, most of this stuff can't be recycled. They don't have the triangle things on them at all, so I don't know what kind of plastic they are, so I don't know if they can be recycled. And you know, when you chuck it in your yellow curbside bin, it does end up in landfill. So even though you think you're doing the right thing, it's being taken to the recycling plant where they can't sort it, and the recycling plant ends up just chucking it in the landfill. So essentially you're not really recycling, are you? In regards to these items, there are ways that you can, I guess, minimize your impact. So in regards to toothbrushes, maybe opt for a bamboo toothbrush, which is what I use. They can be composted, so you can chuck that in your backyard or whatnot, in your garden. Forget about it for 10 years and find out it's not there later. In regards to toiletries, like this kind of stuff, in Australia we do have a company called Terracycle. They are recycling items that generally cannot go into your curbside bins, such as toiletries, makeup foundation, shampoo bottles, and also pens. So your pens are made out of plastic, the casing is anyway, but inside there might be like metal springs, or like the inks inside can't generally be recycled with plastic recycling. So Terracycle does collect pens and disposes of them and recycles them correctly. And if you guys are recycling, it's really important to make sure you guys are purchasing recycled items. There's no point in, you know, recycling paper if you're not gonna buy recycled paper. A lot of the recycled paper, as you recycle it more often, the quality of the paper does degrade. So recycled paper generally tends to be half recycled, half new trees, just to maintain the quality. So every time I'm going to buy a paper, I always go for the recycled option. That way I'm supporting the market of recycled paper. Same thing with toilet paper. Like a lot of the paper that does get recycled, newspapers or whatnot, they turn into a lower quality of paper, but they're good enough for your bums. So when you guys do go buy toilet paper, keep an eye out for the recycled toilet paper and give it a try, because they're not as bad as you might think. They're pretty decent. And same thing with like general products. Quite a few products in the supermarkets right now have indicated whether their packaging is made out of recycled plastic, so that's something to keep an eye out for. And if you can, just support recycled products whenever you can. For example, a lot of plastics are going into making community park benches and all that. So, you know, maybe get in touch with your local council and be like, hey, I think this is a really good product, and you know, I noticed this park or that park over there lacks quite a lot of seats. Can we look into getting some sustainably made seats? And just try make your recycling a bit more impactful. And if possible, I guess the general 3 R's is reduce, reuse and recycle. But recently, in the past couple of years, they've added an extra R at the beginning, which is refuse. So it's actually refuse, reduce, reuse and then recycle. So firstly, refuse any products, if possible, that have excess packaging, or you know, products that you can avoid. So like instead of buying drinks in plastic bottles, maybe buy them in glass, and then you can obviously reduce your consumption of like soft drinks in glass or plastic bottles, and then even reuse those glass jars or like glass bottles to contain other foodware items, and then obviously recycle. The thing that I love about glass though is it's 100% recyclable. It doesn't matter how many times you recycle it, glass will always maintain its quality. And by recycling glass, I think it reduces energy consumption by like 40% as compared to making new glass. So every time you do purchase a recycled product, you're also supporting a reduction in energy consumption. So that's also something to think about. And if you guys have any other further questions, don't hesitate to ask. I'm gonna keep this a short video because I can feel my voice going, but I just wanted to put something out for this week so you guys can have something to think about or work upon. And recycling is such an interesting interesting thing, which I'll probably get into more detail as I finish reading this article, because it goes through quite a lot of the products that are generally in your curbside bin. So the more I know, the more I will let you guys know, and I think I'll leave it there. Don't forget to give this video a thumbs up if you like it, and as always, subscribe if you're interested in this kind of topics. And I'll see you guys next time, and hopefully my voice will be better. So see ya. Bye.